This comes as a wave of Arctic air blasts the northern half of the country. Temperatures are going to range from 20 to 30 degrees below average today from Montana to the Great Lakes. It's going to be purple up there. Most of Minnesota and Wisconsin will in fact remain well below zero tonight. And I hope you're preparing yourselves because there's a new snowstorm stretching from coast to coast. In fact, it's going to be hammering the country proper later this week. Winter's here. And so's our Jamie Yuccas in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I know Jamie just clicked those heels 3 times because I can see there's no place like home.
Let me click. I'm trying to click my big boots here for you. No, this is my hometown. And I got to tell you, Josh, Minnesotans do this very, very well. Yeah. I know how to layer, know how to take care of myself. But as you were just describing, there are so many dangers that can come with this extreme cold. From 2003 to 2013, 13,000 people, according to the CDC, have died of hypothermia. So that's a real threat. The other things that can really impact you in this cold weather, if you have any risk of heart attack risk does go up when it gets extremely cold. So on top of hypothermia and things like frostbite, you also have to think about in these cold temperatures carbon monoxide poisoning, because as you heat your home, there's gas and those types of things. If there's any type of gas that is leaking within your home, you can set yourself up for that as well. I have friends here in Minneapolis who have been calling me. Their furnaces went out, that type of thing. So that can end up being a real danger, just trying to stay warm in this extremely cold weather. And as you look at the map, I know you just said winter is here. However, a lot of people arguing with me saying winter doesn't officially start till December 21st. And even though this is Minneapolis, where I'm standing right now, the average temperature on a day like today is supposed to be around 28, 29 degrees. So obviously we are much, much colder than that.
Somebody better let winter know then that it's early, that it's not supposed to be here, and that it's not a balmy 28 degrees as it's supposed to be. I mentioned, too, that snowstorm that's on the way. Obviously, we see the snow behind you. The Midwest, the Great Lakes regions are going to be hammered by a fresh round here. Will towns such as that one, how are they preparing for what's going to become layers of weather?
Well, right. And the problem now is that you have had this extreme cold. What's happening today here in Minneapolis is it's only about 6 degrees right now. We reached our high here in Minneapolis overnight. That was 8 degrees. So it's just going to get colder. I think you can see the wind blowing about a little bit. So you've had this extreme cold kind of settle in. What ends up happening is that when these snowstorms come, temperatures, they go higher a little bit. And sometimes things can melt as that salt kicks in, that kind of thing. The bad part is then you get the snow on top of that. And then you get freezing cold temperatures usually behind those snowstorms. That just creates a real mess on the roadways and for people flying. The airports have to go through on the runways and keep clearing off those runways to make sure everything is safe when the planes go to land and take off. But as you can see, we've still got plenty of snow. The other thing that's happening here, which is probably of interest to people, this is the Mississippi River. This is a moving river, and it has been so cold here the last few days that you can see chunks of ice now forming on the banks of the Mississippi. So you have lakes starting to freeze, that type of thing. But when you think about this then happening on roadways, that's when you create that mess. And if places aren't used to dealing with it, that cold air going to start heading to the south and east, as you said, places like Oklahoma City, you have places in Arkansas, even Atlanta, down that way. They're not prepared for this type of weather. So as it gets colder and you get some of those systems in with any bit of precipitation, you just have a mess on the roads, those spin outs and accidents, that kind of thing.
But at least you're there. Great little town. You can essentially traverse it all indoors. You got that phenomenal hat. And Jamie, the scarf game is on point today. So, net, you still come out ahead. Jamie Yuccas there. No place like home in Minneapolis. Jamie, thanks.